The stank of change is in the air at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill. Now, everyone and their mom assumes that current, as of right, meow, head coach Mike Zimmer is going to be on his way out. Missing the playoffs 3 out of 4 years, that should probably do it. But, what about the guy who hired Mike Zimmer? We're talking about GM Rick Spielman. Will Prete Ricky return for the 2022 season? Now, full disclosure, as if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that I'm a big Spielman fan. I believe in him, but he's already selected 2 head coaches, Leslie Frazier in 2011 after being interim head coach, as well as Mike Zimmer in 2014. GMs generally don't get to select a 3rd head coach. You usually don't even get to select 2, right? So it would be relatively unprecedented. But in my opinion, the Vikings are a top-tier team in terms of talent. Now, can they stay healthy? That's really tough, right? But in terms of talent procurement, year after year, the Vikings have been pretty damn solid. But the whole has been less than some of its parts the last 2 years, and that comes down to coaching. It's like, hey, a guy buys a bunch of high-end groceries, and then a chef comes in and screws it up. Basically makes hot dogs, puts a hot dog in a bowl of cereal. It's great. And then you blame the guy who bought the groceries. Ain't his fault. And Spielman joined the Vikings after the 2006 draft. Brad Childress, back in the day, was head coach at the time. Spielman's first ever draft pick was Adrian Peterson, 2007, number 7 overall. Did pretty good. And over the years, in both drafts, trades, free agency, Spielman has done generally well. Overall, he has had a solid batting average, better than the average GM, and I would put Pretty Ricky in the top 5-ish in terms of NFL GMs. Plus, if you look at his 2020 draft, you got your future left tackle, Darisaw, you got your future guard in Wyatt Davis, hopefully. Future linebacker Chaz Surratt, Cameron Bynum is already a stud. King Kene and Nwangu is already on his way to Canton as a kick returner. Don't at me. As well as Kellen Mond, potentially could be your future franchise quarterback. Maybe. Plus, we said at the time, that was not a draft for a man who was desperate to make something happen. There wasn't these aggressive moves up the boards. There wasn't gambling. And there wasn't anything like that. This was a long-term draft with a lot of long-term prospects on it. And I think it does come down to stability. Because the Wilfs, as owners, have shown that they do like stability with the Vikings. Spielman's been here for 15 years. Zimmer's been here for 8. But they either have to commit to Spielman long-term. He's already inked up through 2023, same as Zimmer, or start over anew. Because the worst thing that could happen to the Vikings in terms of stability would be if Spielman stays, he hires a new head coach, but then next offseason they decide to fire Spielman, and then the new GM will probably want his own head coach. So that's a lot of turmoil. That's a lot of shakeup. So basically, they either have to fire Spielman now, complete clean slate, hire a new GM who hires his own head coach right now, and they're tied at the hip, or Spielman and the new head coach that he hires have to be package deal. No in between. And I think that's the smart way to go. So overall, I do think that Spielman is safe. I think that he will be the guy buying the groceries in 2022, or maybe it's possible since the Wolves are classy and Spielman has been a big part of this organization for the nearly 2 decades. Maybe you could see a John Elway type promotion upstairs like the Broncos did, which opened things up for George Payton, former Vikings regional assistant general manager, to make the move over there as GM. Maybe that could be the step. Or maybe Spielman gets his promotion and then Jamal Stevenson or someone is promoted internally to GM. I don't know. I don't really know right now. But I think overall, the Vikings scouting staff, their scouting department, both pro and college, I think it's too good to want to shake up at this point. So I think that Spielman stays in some capacity. But your thoughts are our thoughts. Will Prete Ricky Spielman be GM of the Vikings in 2022? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.